Hello, another video about automobile accident. Here in this video, we are going to what are the things we need to do as a registered medical practitioner, and which will aid in the investigation of the case of any automobile accident. And here, as our role as a registered medical practitioner, here our duty is to do a complete autopsy and to collect the trace evidence from the deceased victim, and to provide to provide those details, those essential materials to the investigating officer, whereby we can help the police officer to complete the case. And here, not only collecting a blood, fragments of tissue, and etc. from the deceased, and here by the doing an external examination properly, we can able to uh, identify who are the occupants of this car and the other car, or otherwise who was the driver, was he suffering from any natural diseases or any other uh, disease condition which made him to suffer during or prior to the accident. What was the exact etiology? How does the crime has occurred? And by doing a complete autopsy, we can able to detail these facts, and we can able to document. And other things are by seeing a bumper injury and on the pedestrian, right? From the previous videos, we have described or what are the medical legal points towards a bumper injury and other, and the possible location of the passengers of the vehicle can also be determined by doing in a thorough meticulous examination. And in our role as a doctor, it is our role also to do a counseling to the surviving victims of the accident, and also to give a psychotherapy. And for example, if an individual has been a case of a drug addict or an alcoholic abuser, our role uh, to help those individuals and to change their lifestyle modification, or suggest any sort of medical treatment by which they can withdraw from those uh, ill effects. An objective of investigation of automobile accident is first and foremost is study of an accident scene. In accident scene, and less likely in an Indian setup, to visit an accident scene and to do a thorough examination, and we can get by asking an history towards a police officer, we can collect most of the details and in the part of history. And if we get a chance to visit, we can look for the tire marks, etc., and followed by we can able to see the trace evidences in form of blood, tissue, or a piece of torn cloth over the part of a vehicle, or underneath the chassis, etc. And coming to point number two, mechanical and engineering examination of the involved vehicles and other components, and beyond our scope of specialty. And coming to the point three, complete autopsy of all dead victims, the most vital point of concerning to our fraternity. And physical and psychiatric examination of the surviving drivers and other survivors of the motor vehicle accident, and the personal and social history of the surviving persons also to be collected. And these are the chief objectives of or goals of primary goals of any investigation of an automobile accident. Here, examination of the scene. In examination of the scene, first and foremost is the trace left by the vehicle. Those will be the other vital, and we are here to prove that who has gone wrong, or who has been a culprit for this accident. And here the things, the data which are skid marks, dirt left from the undersurface of the vehicle, tire marks, and materials from the vehicles will help us to find out. And uh, and our duty is to determine all these, and by which we can able to fix those issues. And here, skid marks, talking about skid marks, our duty is to locate the location, the direction, and the length of the skid mark, and which will be reliable guide at what speed the vehicle was traveling, and when was the brake was applied, and what are the things happened after a minute. And either it can be measured, or a neat sketch to be drawn on a paper, and even if it possible, photographs also can be taken. And by determining these skid marks and other, help us to reconstruct the accident, and the evaluation of the statements provided by the surviving drivers and other passengers of the vehicle. And coming to point number 2, dirt from the undersurface of the vehicle. Dirt from the undersurface of the vehicle, it means that any sort of material which has been dripped on the highway, either it could be in a brake oil, or any other part of a vehicle, or any dust or any debris which has been dribbled on the surface on the road, which also help to reconstruct the accident. And coming to point number 3, tire marks. In tire marks, it can track us, or it can lead from a scene. It indicates the direction, speed, and whether there has been an attempt to stop or avoid a collision. Whether, for example, if a driver is in an aware state, he tried to stop, or if the driver is unaware of the incident or unaware of the collision, he never attempts to make a stop. So in those cases, there will be minimal tire marks, and if there has been an intention to stop a vehicle, there will be more amount of tire marks over the surface. On the surface, it means on the road. And here, they also to help us to identify the vehicle, and each the tire has an individual character, skid cuts, and other characteristic features also been present. And materials from the vehicle, either it could be in a broken handles, headlights, windscreen, or windshield, parking lights nearby, and metallic parts from the door handles, grills could be present, by which you can able to collect those. And if it be in a case of a hit and run, and where a vehicle had made a collision, had left the scene of crime, and after some time they came to trace out the vehicle, and there been a question of a suspected vehicle. And if these available parts are available from the scene of crime, we can able to correlate with those, the hit and run questionable vehicle, and we can able to compare, and here we can able to even fix a charge of an offense. And other things like even a dribbling of antifreezes, oils on the scene of crime also will be helpful. And these are the materials which would have been leaked on the scene of crime during an accident or an act of a collision. And coming to the next slide, left by the victim, and that here usually blood of a heavy collision, if a bones go for a fracture, or if a part of a body goes for an injury, there will be a dribbling of blood on the surfaces, and the spilled blood can be taken as an evidence. And even in cases where fragment of tissues, the loosened hair can be taken, and fragments of cloth which has been entangled in the vehicles can also be taken. And in case of a pedestrian injury, or in case of any motor vehicle collision, these trace evidences left by a victim can also be collected, and the location of such evidences to be sketched. For example, blood has been spilled these many distance from, for example, if it is 15 centimeter to 30 centimeter away from this car one, and those also to be sketched, and if it possible, even we can take a photograph, after which collecting these samples and fragments, and it can be subjected for a detailed examination. And for example, if it been a blood, the possible investigation could be uh, the doing in a DNA profiling, grouping, cross matching can be done. And if it been a fragment of tissue, the who is the owner of the tissue, or otherwise who the tissue belongs to who, whether it is a driver or any other occupants or any other missing person, can be, by which we can do an detailing study. For example, if it in case where there been a query and number of passengers who have been traveling. For example, there been an accident followed by there been a complete burnt of the entire vehicle, and as well as the uh, occupants of the vehicle, where these trace evidences which will help us to fix the DNA, and even if it has been reduced to as a skeleton, by doing a clinical examination, by which we can able to nail down how many males have been traveled or how many females have traveled, and by which we can able to correlate with the evidences provided, and even finding out from a missing persons. And in fragments of clothes, and again any sort of intoxication. For example, if an individual has uh, consumed an alcohol or on a drug abuser, some part of a material would have been spilled on the parts of the cloth. Again, it will be uh, useful, and we can able, even when we subject same material for an examination, we can able to collect those details from the fragments of the clothes. Yes. On this slide, these are the objectives of the autopsy relating to any motor vehicle accidents. Here, first and foremost, uh, to construct the accident and to determine its cause. And point number two, to find out the exact cause of death. And point number three, to find out the exact manner of death, and if there been a complete destruction, facial destruction, and if completely burnt individuals have been recovered from the scene of crime, and our role is to identify the victims, who are the, how many males were there, how many females were there, and what could be the probable age of the individual, right? Those detailings can be done. And point number five, we need to identify the driver, right, by seeing the dicing injury, and by seeing a steering wheel impact injury on the chest or on upper lower section of the abdomen. We can able to determine who was the driver, and a possible position of the victims prior to the accident, and by detailing uh, the injuries sustained on the body, we can able to reconstruct, and this was a driver, this was a front seat passenger, these are the rear seat passengers, by which we can able to determine. And point number six, to differentiate injuries caused by a hit or from those caused by being a run over. And if an individual doesn't wear a seat belt, and a front seat passenger would have been ejected from the vehicle, and the run over injury could have occurred, right? And if you have heard the past videos, you can able to correlate with this point here. And to identify the automobiles in cases of hit and run cases, and the last is to determine the significance of previous injury in cases of delayed death. Previous injuries, it could be a health insult or any sort of a natural diseases he is been suffering just prior to the accident. And coming to clothes, in clothes, um, first and foremost, any part of an autopsy, it starts with an external examination, then we go to the internal examination. And what are the things or details which are available from clothes, right? Mostly extraneous material like paint, smug marks, grease, oil marks on the or otherwise a dirt which have been present on the garment to be documented. Either it can be noted or it can be even sketched, and in other cases even better to photograph those evidence and preserve in the part of the autopsy report. And by seeing this, uh, seeing these marks and etc. or any torn structures on the clothes also to be documented, and any breach or any discontinuity in a cloth, it should be measured with a measuring tape, and those findings to be documented. And in cases where may show even a imprint of a tire, right? Imprint of a tire that produced by a dirt. In those cases, again, in case of a pedestrian, we can able to find out the exact tire mark and which was the offending vehicle. And in again in clothes, even in some cases where pieces of glasses, metals may be found in cloth, and again it will help us to assist or reconstruct at the scene of accident, and we can identify the unknown vehicle in case of a hit and run case, and thereby the examination of cloth ends here. And coming to the body, again external in part of an external examination, we need to look for the injuries which have been present on the external surfaces, their nature, size, exact sizes to be documented, and whether it is horizontal, transverse, vertical to be documented, followed by the exact location of the injury. From the nearest anatomical landmarks, we need to fix the location of the injury, and again those are to be documented. And coming to distance from the wounds from the feet also to be recorded. And here, for example, from the previous videos, we have been discussed about bumper injuries, right? In bumper injuries, from the lower margin of the wound to the feet, we are measuring, right? And the principle began, or the medical legal point began, is we can able to identify the height of the bumper of that vehicle, offending vehicle. And same such, yeah, in autopsy, all injuries to be documented from the feet, the exact approximate distance from the wound from the feet to be recorded. In cases of drag marks, if for example, in cases of a rollover injury, there could be multiple abrasions present on the entire circumferential surfaces of the body. So those drag marks also to be documented, and most commonly it can be an abrasion or an abrated contused wound will be present. And for example, if a vehicle has entangled the victim and he can be dragged for so many so such distance, so by which you can able to opine on these findings. And even in some cases, diagrammatic representation of the injuries on a body outline sketch. For example, if you go back to your autopsy report in your practical record, there have been body sketches which have been available, and even there have been multiple injuries, and you run out of papers, or you don't have a space to document. By using these body sketches or body outline in papers, we can easily mark those injuries with some sort of sign for each type of injury, and we can document those injuries. And here our role is by following a sequential order in recording. Either you start from the head, and from there, and you start nailing down each and every injury, and each and every injury to be numbered, and it should be documented properly. And even some injuries may be confusing, and it could be an overlapping of two or more injuries, can the nature of the injury, and in those circumstances better to take a photograph, and either you even call a senior most faculty to help you, or a picture could be shared among them, and even you can even at the later point of time you can get the interpretation and the opinion, and you can document even in later point of time. And other injuries pattern would be a severe burns, right, where a collision has occurred, followed by a flaming and other effect, which has resulted in the burst open of the petrol and a diesel tank, where followed by the most of the occupants have been reduced into ashes, where only a skeleton have been presented. The same procedure, same need to look for fractures on the bones, and if it been a moderate bones or a mild degree of bones, again those bones, the bones injury sites also to be documented, and whether they have been alive during an event or they have died, those also to be documented. For example, if an individual is alive during an incident, uh, the presence of soot particles within trachea will be present, and if an individual being unconscious or he been dead just prior to the incident of burns, in those cases the deposition of soot will be minimal. And if the deposition of soot within the terminal bronchioles, which will be an ultimate proof that the individual was surviving during a incident. And coming to causes of death, and in case of causes of death, the not only by the traumatic nature of the collision which has resulted in death, there could be some other natural disease the driver or the occupants they were suffering. And our concern is more towards the driver. If an individual been aware, he would have applied a brake, and he would have foreseen the accident, and on the instant he would have applied a brake and he would have avoided a collision. And if individual has been in state of unaware could be of an natural or an artificial in means. In natural, for example, an individual has suddenly developed a chest pain due to a coronary artery disease or an attack of an angina or any valvular heart disease. The individual being unaware, and the speed of collision, high velocity injury, high impact, and followed by more amount of injuries on the occupants as well as on the driver. And even a driver being in a diabetic in case he was a known diabetic, a brief period of hypoglycemia, an episode of hypoglycemia could have resulted in an immediate unconsciousness, and followed by the accident would have been occurred. And by estimating the levels of blood glucose and even vitreous humor will be ideal to determine, and which will be the best sample in case of a determining hypoglycemic episodes just prior to death. And even it could be a migraine headache which has made him to lose his concentration in driving, and which could have also resulted in a accident. Here again, by doing a psychological autopsy, or by taking the past history from the relatives, whether he have been suffering from any of the disorders in his past, or whether there been a history of medication, etc., also to be documented, and those details will be available with the close relatives or the legal heirs. And in other cases, even a natural disease like any sort of a vision defects, minor vision defects also could be the possible etiology, where a natural disease has played a part in an accident. And a point like colored blindness, defective hearing, those also could be the reasons behind an accident. And here the word color blindness, or an individual, a known driver with a valvular heart disease or a defective hearing, right? And there been a section of a topic from the previous chapters, right? There been a word like privileged communication, where in an individual been suffering from any of the disease, and he been a man of responsibility, and on doing a physical examination, or when we are about to give a physical fitness certificate, a driver with these sort of diseases and other, and it is our duty to inform to his higher authority that this individual is suffering from this disease, these disorders, and he is not eligible to work as a driver, and it won't be in a breach in the privacy of the patient. Here, as a duty of a registered medical practitioner, it is our duty and when you go and flip through privileged communication, you can find these terminologies, right? And even an act of an epilepsy could be a natural disease which have made him to make a commit an accident, again from the past history, from the relatives, right? The word fatigue, it means that individual has been working long since without any adequate rest, and even a physical fatigue or a psychological fatigue or a mental fatigue could have resulted in an accident. And in physical fatigue, again sleeplessness and repeated shifts, and he has been working continuously could be the reason. And in psychological and mental fatigues could be of individual been suffering from some sort of social disturbances in form of a loan or a debit in a larger amount, or his responsibility could have resulted in a fatigueness and an accident could have occurred. And when you come to the point here, the artificial means. So artificial means whatever we have discussed here, those are of belonging to a natural diseases and other. And when you come to artificial means by the intake of a drug, an accident has occurred. The most common in our setup is a driver being drunken, right? And he has consumed an alcohol in a sufficient quantity and made him sober, and he has indulged in an act of an accident. And other possible drugs by which an individual could have been intoxicated are morphine, pethidine, cannabis, cocaine, benzodiazepine, uh, antihistaminics, and other tranquilizers, or even a hypotensive drugs could be other reasons or another etiological factors which would have made him to lack of control during driving. And if it in case of an overdosage or in cases of normal dosage, can also cause this sort of accidents or on the part of the driver. And in case of a drunken drive, again being a medical issue, and the post estimation of alcohol level during autopsy can also be made. And here blood samples can be collected, or even a vitreous humor can be collected, and by which estimation of alcohol can be done, and followed by the levels of alcohol can be estimated even post after death. And coming to psychology and accident, in psychology and accident, uh, uh, when an individual suffers from any sort of any psychiatric illness, either he is on medication or he is been on a case of an anxiety disorder, can also be in an etiological agent whereby it can contribute to any sort of accident or any sort of mishappen. And there could be some sort of traumatic condition which has been already been present, or any sort of natural diseases which has been revoked or which has been uh, accelerated in an extreme degree after a mild trauma. For example, an individual being in a old case of a subdural hematoma, and he has been suffering from a chronic subdural hematoma. A mild traumatic event had made him to for an extra bleed or a dislocation of the hemorrhage site from the original site, which has made him to lose his consciousness, and followed by an accident has occurred. And even in liver and spleen, for example, when a liver being in this infective conditions, where spleen being in this infective conditions, like uh, in a splenomegaly or already in a cirrhosis liver, where in a mild traumatic event which has resulted in ruptures of liver, and followed by an accident has occurred. And again, and these could be done by only doing a meticulous autopsy, and each and every body cavity and each and every structure to be examined, and by which we can able to nail down the causes of death. And coming to manner of death, in manner of death, again it could be of any of the thing. It mostly mostly it is of an accidental. In other cases, it even could be in a case of an homicidal, uh, where in case of a hit and run case and an intentional hit by a driver, just uh, to fake that case as an accident in case of a pedestrian, uh, with an intentional hit or on a premeditated hit by a car, and just to fake the incident or to conceal. And even suicide is possible by a motor vehicle, where an individual, uh, in the uh, in the crisis of financial situations or an quarrel or threats of suicide or previous suicide attempts or history of depression and other, where an individual intentionally makes an injury, or collides with another vehicle, and he can even end his life by committing these things. And other are uh, murder by a motor vehicle, again same as towards a hatred, a crime even committed with the help of a motor vehicle, where their uh, prey is on the road, and they are premeditated hit and followed by the collapse of the individual and other. And point number here, identification of the driver, and by looking at these points listed, we can able to nail down the who was the exact driver. And if there been a in situ photographs within a motor vehicle, right, police bring some sort of a photographs, and if there been the dispersed body and bodies have been ejected from the vehicle, in those circumstances, if you look for these features on the deceased body, we can nail down who was the driver and who were the other occupants of the vehicle. And first and foremost, there have been a presence of a steering wheel impact on the type of injury, and we can come to a conclusion. This individual would be the driver of the vehicle. And finding of paint, glasses from the doors on the driver side, on the victim's body or from the clothes, and finding of cloth fibers, hair, tissues from the suspected driver. For example, an injury, and where he entangled within a dashboard, where cloth fiber or a part of an hair or any tissue has been entangled, and by which we can able to correlate, and a suspected driver can be identified. And if there been application of a brake or an accelerator pedal design imprinted on the soles of the driver's shoe, and again we can able to identify that individual to be a driver. Matching of the blood group of a driver with a blood which has been collected from the driver panel, again which will be helpful to identify that he was a driver. And for example, if the individual being a driver, and our duty, again we need to look for other things like which have been described in a previous slide, like whether he has been suffering from any natural diseases, or there been a history of drug addiction, or there been a history of alcohol intake just prior to accident, those again to be determined. And if these have been present, alcohol being present or an history of drug being present, and by which we can able to fix the negligence on the which vehicle has been an funding vehicle, or on the whose uh, on the side of which vehicle there been a mistake, we can able to identify. And on this slide, right, it could be any surviving persons from the vehicle, either could be a driver or any occupant of a vehicle, where they suffer only a mild injury or a moderate injury, and they have been surviving, right. And in those cases, if it be in a case of a mild or moderate, least about a complete physical examination to be done from head to toe, a complete examination to be done, and if there been any disfigurement or any deformity, and a particular area to be x-rayed, and if there been any bony deformity, and an appropriate treatment to be given. And most of the times the individual survive without fractures and other, but they have a psychiatric imbalance in form of they may even suffer from a stress, anxiety, and even they start recollecting the accident scenes, and which will make them to which may even reduce their sleep, and even their daily routine works. There will be hindrance in their daily routine works. In those cases, even people may go to an extreme phase of post-traumatic stress disorder. In those cases, a complete psychological evaluation is needed, followed by medications and other can be prescribed. And most commonly, people uh, may survive, but there will be features of concussion present. In those cases, again, a 24-hour observation to be taken, and individuals' vitals to be checked periodically, and if there have been any deterioration, and followed by appropriate treatment to be given. And even individual, right from the previous slide, a driver, surviving driver may suffer from any sort of a natural disease, or with a history of drug abuse or a history of alcohol intake during his routine work. In those cases, again, the concerned personal history and psychological counseling and medications can be given to avoid those habits during driving, and by which accidents can be avoided. And thank you so much for listening. And if there have been any doubt and query, kindly make it in WhatsApp or otherwise in the comment section below. Thank you.